The name of this play is verticals from Gun Bunch, so everyone's probably run this play before, unless you're a beginner. So basically the first read is going to be the outside wide receiver, then the tight end in the seam, then the post route or the crossing route from the slot receiver, and then you progress to the underneath route. So there we hit the seam route from the tight end. This is all versus cover 4. So versus cover 4, we can hit the seam real quick before the deep safety matches. We can also fit against cover 4 depending on the flat coverage. We can fit it to the sideline, to the wide receiver. You just want to make sure you don't throw it too early, otherwise it'll be an incomplete pass. You want to wait till he goes up the field a little bit. Here we're going to go ahead and hit the underneath receiver, so versus cover 3 or cover 4 or even cover 2, that underneath route is going to be there for you pretty much if all those other routes are covered. So here, I think we're going to hit the crossing route. Hit the crossing route real quick, of course, if they take away your underneath routes. So you have the running back on an option route underneath and the drag coming underneath. So you want to hit the crossing route before it crosses to the other side of the field. Otherwise, the other safety or the other corner will be able to make a play. So you want to hit them right in the middle. So even if they bring the safety down, the deep middle safety down, because zone coverage is still broken in this game, he doesn't even match. He just bails and just lets you complete it right in front of his face, no matter what you do. Versus quarters or matching cover 4, you can hit the running back on his option route, or if it becomes man coverage, he's going to convert his little curl route into an out. So there you can complete that. Here, again, against cover 4, you can see that the zones are really not reacting at all, or they're reacting kind of late. So you're able to fit that throw over the top of the curl flat and in front of the corner. So there we just hit the drag route. So here I think we're getting cover 2. So against cover 2, if they are trying to take away your underneath routes, that's obviously going to open things up over the top. There we're able to hit the wide receiver down the sideline. Spin move is touchdown. So they definitely can't play underneath coverage on you. And even if they don't play underneath coverage, there's still window to fit that ball in. You just need to have the right timing and probably step up in the pocket. Otherwise, the throw won't be very accurate. So here we're going to try it again. You can, if you're planning on throwing this against cloud fats, you probably want to keep your running back blocked so you have time for it to develop. Oh, and you can, like I said, if you've got the timing and you're on the right, if you're throwing to the field, the wide part of the field, then you're going to be able to fit that throw in a lot easier. This is versus man. So against man, if he doesn't, if he's like in a baseline, or he leaves his corner in outside leverage, then that's going to be open. Obviously, drag, same thing. If the corners are in man coverage, but they're not right on their man, you're going to be able to hit both those routes versus man coverage very easily. So now we're going to the next version of the play where we're going to basically create a flood. So we read the seam route first. So seam's covered, we throw the drag underneath, very easy yards. So read the seam, read the drag. If the drag is covered, like he's user covering the drag, then you can go ahead and hit that in route that's coming behind it, just right in that small window. And of course, if all of that is tight, so it was kind of a tight throw there, that means that over the top, the crossing route is a lot more wide open. So It's a great way to kind of flood the right. So with the verticals play before, we were flooding the left. With this version, we're now flooding the, I'm sorry, we're flooding the right side of the field. And then you can also throw that, if they're not covering that seam route right off the snap, that you can throw you want to throw a low ball towards the inside, and then just kind of possession catch. So catch it basically right in front of the safety or the cornerback. There, we can also, instead of running an in route, we can run a slant, which is a even better man beater. So I think that was. So that looks like that was versus cover two. So if they take away the slant, you can still throw that. Obviously, you can throw the crossing route right in the middle of the field. So versus man coverage, obviously press or off coverage. There we got off coverage. You can hit slant very easy, especially against two men under, which we're probably going to see a lot of now that there's a lot of RPOs in the game. So a lot of people will default to cover two man. So here, this is version 3 of the play. So I like to call this kind of like the spread version. So here, the first read is the out route. If the out route is open, take that all day, every day. Make sure that corner isn't sitting on the route. Make sure he actually bails before you decide to throw that, or you confirm it's man coverage. Here, so they're going to play hard flats in a cover 3. We can kind of, that was a bad read. That is the next progression of the read. Yeah, so if they're playing it the route that closely, you can go ahead, obviously, the crossing route. And if they're covering the crossing route, we have the seam route from the tight end, or we can go outside to the wide receiver, kind of a harder throw, something Kirk Cousins would do. No shade, yeah, that's shade at Kirk Cousins. And obviously, yeah, you can hit the seam route from the tight end. Yeah, Kirk Cousins is, I think he's garbage, but that's another video. That's another topic entirely. I think this was versus cover 4. Yeah, the zones are really broken. I mean, look at the corner. Why is he, I mean, he's in quarters coverage. I think it's maybe because the guy's going towards the sideline, so he kind of forgets about him, but that's like just poor awareness. And then obviously if they play press, you can throw it outside. So if they ever play press, you want to keep the receiver on the left side on his deep streak route. Because obviously versus press, if it's cover 1 or cover 0, then you basically got possibly a touchdown. So against man coverage, I also like to do this combination where I put the wide receiver on a zig. So versus man, if you spread these guys out, the only option is either to hope they win off the line. Like there you could see he had a step on him, or you have to throw kind of a back shoulder fade like that to the tight end. Those really aren't great options if you motion the wide receiver outside, or if it's man coverage. Those are not good options. So here, looking at version 3 of the play, I don't know where I think I'm at version 3, another version of the play. So here we're basically trying to we're trying to attack the sidelines in a different way. So here we're attacking the seam. You can throw that. So you want a big body receiver. So maybe DJ Moore needs to eat more protein shake or drink more protein shakes, or I don't know, hit the weights. So if you want to hit that seam pass, make sure you get someone with good catch in traffic. Throw it low towards the inside. Make sure the linebacker isn't trying to rob that route. And if the linebacker does, then you just throw it underneath to Olsen. Here we're going to put Olsen on a delay route, so a delay drag, so that we kind of chip Cam Jordan. So if Cam Jordan's on his, he's on one, he's, extra motivated, we can double team him there, which will give us time to throw to Christian McCaffrey, and this is all Madden. I'm using I have 2 controllers. This is all Madden. Yes, he just back shoulder faded a linebacker. I think that just goes to show that those ratings sometimes matter. So yeah, so that was a bad read, but the idea is that if we get enough time, Oh wow, Christian McCaffrey. Look at this. This is. I'm not even kidding. This is all Madden sim, or I think it's competitive. It's definitely not arcade. It's one of the two, either sim or, and he's making catches over me. So really, and let's just get to the business. Yeah. So that's what you're really looking for. That's not a hard flat. That's just if you wait long enough, you get enough time. That route down the sideline can get open for you. This is versus cover 3, so you can see that Chris Hogan in the slot. The wheel pattern does bring down the corner in cover 3. So once it gets deep enough, the corner will realize that it's a threat, and he'll basically abandon the slot receiver, and you'll be able to just bomb it over the top, especially if the safety's kind of out of position. Yeah, so zone defense is kind of broken because really the curl flat should just keep carrying that route, especially if the corner's already bailed like that. The curl flat should just carry that route, but that might be fixed. Who knows? So yeah, and if you're getting blitzed, this is a great way. Also, yeah, Christian McCaffrey, the default route for him is to be on a delay, I guess, option route. So if they're only sending 4 or 5 guys, then he'll probably go out into a route. Oh, and here, obviously, even versus cover 4, if they're backed off, if they're not playing tight, you can just hit them right in that seam, right in front of the safeties, because the safeties do not react well in this game. So here we're showing just again, you're going to be able to hit that route if you have the right timing. There, it got swatted down. Again, showing with better timing, better throw, you can complete that pass. Obviously, Olsen underneath is always an option. The tight end, I said Olsen, the tight end. Let's see. Here, it's the same play. So block 6, and then obviously if everyone's covered, so this is versus cover 2, if they cover it pretty well, then you can always scramble, because these routes naturally will take people out of the play. Not to mention that you basically have even if it's man coverage, you're going to be able to just scramble, unless they have contains. And if they have contains, then you can just scramble up the pocket, like you can just dart up the pocket. This is version 1 of the play, so here you can see that against cover 3 or cover 4, you can hit that seam area right there in between the flat defender and the hook defender. Even versus cover 4, you can throw it right in front of that safety as well. In the quarter zone. So here we are going to hit the drag. So if they take away that seam route with the user linebacker, you can just go ahead and hit the drag, or you can throw a high point. I jumped the gun. That's the thing about doing voiceovers. As you can tell, I'm very new to this, so trying to learn how to sync the voice with the video. So here we've got the drag coming across, so you can either hit the drag whenever you see it open. That's the great thing about the drag. There's many windows, and then obviously you can go ahead and hit the slot receiver over the middle on the post or the crossing route if it's cover 2. And then if cover 2 as well, if they play hard flats, you're gonna have a great time hitting the back of the end zone. This kind of requires some recognition to see and to know your tendencies of your opponent. So you have to kind of know, are they going to be the type of person to go ahead and play hard flats with their in a cover 2 near the red zone to stop drags. So if that's the case, you're going to be able to hit that route in the back of the end zone. Just go ahead and either bullet it, or you can high point it. You can try high pointing if you have a tall receiver. And obviously versus man, you can hit the option route if they convert to man defense. And that's it. That's the verts scheme, or the verts play in the gun bunch mini scheme from the Panthers playbook. So the next play will be bunch trail, and that's one hell of a cover three beater. Let me just tell you, cover three is so broken, and that play exposes it in ways I can't even imagine. So until then, please like and subscribe, and see you in the next video.